What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another video. We are at a store. We got a call a couple days ago saying that RTU number 1 or RTU number 2, whatever they have it labeled as, is not working properly, or the zone temperature sensor is not reading right. It's reading like negative 200 and something degrees. About a couple months ago, about January, I replaced all the zone sensors in here because they had removed the EMS system, or BMI, whatever you guys want to call it. It's different for everybody, but they had removed everything. And well, all they did was unplugged the controller and installed thermostats. But the store management caught wind of what they had going on, and they called us and told us that we needed to plug everything back in. Whoever the old contractor did it is no longer with them, so I had to come out here, reinstall all the zone sensors, wire everything back up to the old Schneider control board up here on these units. Pain in the ass. That unit over there actually had a bad board that I had to replace on it. But today we got a call, work order, saying that RTU number 1, on our end it's RTU number 2, saying that it's reading bad. I'll put a picture of it, but from what I can see, the unit is running with the fan on. We actually, this store is actually closing next month, or sorry, in a couple weeks, so they really don't want to do anything or spend money on it. But this is what I replaced on that other unit. I had to plug in all these outputs and inputs back in. Basically, zone sensors, temperature sensor, supply sensor. This is the one for the thermostat they were using, so all I did was use two wires and plugged in. But apparently I've got to call the pre-stat open on compressor 3. Okay, so I've got to call EMS and see what they want me to do. Hopefully it's not a bad control board. Usually we can, here, let me get you closer. What you can do, if these inputs and returns, that's where your sensors go. Usually if they're bad, you can use the empty ones, like these two right here. Input and return, you can use those two. But like I said, I'm gonna call them on the phone and see what they want me to do. Alright, y'all, so at this point I'm pretty much waiting on EMS to basically set up and communicate with the store. So I'm just doing some preliminary checks. I'm going to ohm out my sensor, which is a 10K ohm sensor. As you can see right there, set your meter up to ohms and try to read that sensor. At this point, I was seeing that the sensor wasn't reading anything. It was reading 0.1 on my meter, so I knew something was going on with the sensor. As you can see, I was double checking to make sure that my meter was actually reading it. So from there, I went down, jumped down to the supply sensor, and was reading just to double check on the meter, and that sensor was reading like 12 point something ohms, and that was a supply temperature sensor. So I was just double checking to make sure that my meter was reading correctly, and found that my sensor might be bad, or that set of input and output was bad. As you can see right there, I was just double checking all my wiring, make sure everything's nice and tight. But we'll get back to the phone call with the EMS.
3 hours later.
Hello? Yeah, that's fine.
2,000 years later.
All right, y'all. So just got done calling with EMS. Basically, it sounds like the sensor, they either knocked it down from the wall, or it came unplugged, or for some reason it's bad, because I unplugged the 2 wires, read how many ohms it had, and it had 0.01 ohms. So it's not reading any ohms. That means it's either lost power or lost communication with that sensor. And to confirm, to make sure it's not the actual spots on the controller, let me pull the camera closer. To make sure it's not the actual spots in the controller, number 7 and number 9, that is where your zone temperature sensor goes. And what I did was took the supply one, moved it up one, and told the guy to see if he can read it, and he was reading it. So we know that the controller side of the stuff is actually working properly, and our problem is the sensor. So we're actually going to go downstairs to the store and find that zone sensor and make sure it's working properly. So we'll be right back, guys. So as y'all saw in the previous clip, wire had come undone. Possibly my fault. Maybe I just left it a little loose and it must have pulled out or something. I guess it happens. We don't know, but it's currently working. Called EMS and they confirmed that they were reading 76 degrees as space temperature. So we're gonna go on to the next call. We'll see you soon.